This is Political Psychology, and I'm your professor, Dr. Patrick Stewart. In this lesson, we consider how cognitive capacity has given humans the ability to not only engage in larger social networks serving their personal needs, but also to organize these networks into hierarchical social structures. As we have seen with evidence regarding the social brain hypothesis, Robin Dunbar and colleagues found a relationship between group size and neocortex size in primates, including humans. By extrapolating off of this information, Dunbar predicted that humans should live in social groups averaging around 150 individuals. The fundamental human social grouping of 150 individuals is referred to as Dunbar's number. Cross-cultural and historical data suggests that this finding is robust in explaining how humans organize themselves. In modern society, indicators of such basic building blocks can be seen in Christmas card lists, as well as in social media technologies. Despite their ability to massively expand virtual societal groupings, Facebook friend lists, reciprocal Twitter networks, and other social media technologies, they tend to average around 150 friends that we keep in contact with at least on an annual basis. One thing we can conclude is that while Dunbar's number provides powerful support for the social brain hypothesis, even larger social groupings occur. These groupings appear to be based upon the 150-person grouping and hierarchical organization by the rule of three. In the remainder of this lecture, we will explore how small-scale societies move to become large-scale societies. Although the social brain hypothesis does a good job of describing how cognitive limits potentially influence group size, including why groups may start fissioning at a certain threshold numbers, there remains the question of the structuring of these groups into larger societies, both within the group itself as well as the fusing of groups together. Most research and theory concerning larger organizations has been based upon leader-member exchanges, also known as LMX. These business, nonprofit, military, and political bureaucracies are key for functioning in modern industrial large-scale societies, or LSSs. However, followership and the leadership that results was selected for in less institutionalized, more egalitarian, and highly situational small-scale societies, or the Triple S. This means that understanding how individuals function in small groups helps us understand how they can function, or malfunction, in large-scale societies. Specifically, due to the individual's need for cognitive capacity to remember the faces and identity of their cohort, but also integrating and managing information about constantly changing relationships between individuals within a group, there's evidence of scaling subgroups of individuals to allow for greater or lesser amounts of information about them to be processed. Due to the trade-offs between the costs and benefits of holding groups together, larger groups often fail to perform. That is, unless there is a form of social organization put in place. For instance, research about, and my personal experience with, churches suggests that they start developing schisms at roughly 150 members. The ethnographic literature suggests that the rule of three continues in a hierarchical manner as larger scale groupings occur. An example of the scaling property is that there are approximately 500 individuals in a megaband and 1,000 to 2,000 members in a tribal unit. Another more salient example of this grouping can be seen in military organizations. Organizing such fighting units reflects perhaps the earliest social niche construction activity by humans. Constructed to respond to in-group versus out-group competitive pressures, this organizational structure reflects the inherent organization of the social brain hypothesis. The first level of this organization, that of squads, is typically comprised of 10 to 15 soldiers, which in turn is organized into a platoon comprised of 3 sections of around 35 soldiers. These platoons are then organized into companies of 3 to 4 platoons, which reaches the proverbial Dunbar's number of around 120 to 150 individuals. From here, battalions are made up of between 3 to 4 companies and support units with between 550 and 800 members. From here, 3 regiments or brigades, which are usually made up of 3 battalions and support units, typically make up a division. Finally, the highest level of the corps is made up of 2 to 3 divisions. The patterns seen here are replicated in a range of organizational structures, suggesting that the absolute size of an organization is not as important as how its social structure is organized. This allows for simplified cognitive processing by the human brain and time budgeting, with patterns staying relatively constant.